So far, we've used Starlight's visualizations, queries, value sets, and color encodings to identify an individual of interest in the embassy attack. Next, we'll use a new feature in Starlight called the Knowledge Manager to see how all our information relates. The Knowledge Manager is Starlight's link charting tool, but as opposed to some other link charting tools currently on the market, it automatically ties objects in the chart back to the source data they came from. In the last video, we loaded a spreadsheet of terrorist incidents from our system into the project by dragging and dropping them into Viz. What we'll do now is add that data into our semantic database by mapping concepts to specific fields in the data. I'll create organization objects from the organizations responsible for each incident. And attack objects from the titles of each incident. Since I know that these records also attribute the incident to these organizations, I'll also create a relationship mapping that says that the organization caused the attack and color these red. I'll start documenting my hypothesis that Usama Masri is somehow linked to the embassy attack by dropping the report about his release from prison onto the Knowledge Manager. Since we know all these al-Masri objects are really the same person, we'll group them into a single object. The object badge on the corner is showing us that it represents 3 distinct objects. We can get all the things that al-Masri is related to by telling the Knowledge Manager to add related. This shows that al-Masri is related to the Aden-Abayan Islamic Army. We see that there are a couple other objects representing the same organization, so we'll group them all together. We repeat the add related action, and now see several other organizations, people, and attacks that this organization is related to. These attacks came from our incident spreadsheet since the links are showing up as red arrows, but we can get back to the source data by simply clicking on the attack icon and seeing the original record. Now we feel we have sufficient information to start putting together a report based on our analysis. Starlight Viz allows us to do this in several ways, but the easiest and quickest is by dragging and dropping from Viz into other applications such as PowerPoint. To demonstrate this, I'll open a new PowerPoint project and create a blank slide. Now I can simply drop my category view onto PowerPoint as well as the color encoding associated with this visualization. A more detailed way to construct a report using Starlight is to export a visualization as a web report. Web reports contain not just the visualization graphic, but all the data as well. This allows anyone with a web browser to view the results of your work without needing a copy of Viz themselves. To create a web report, just click on Export View and select Web Report. The wizard walks through all the steps necessary to create the report, including assigning classification banners, logos, exporting geospatial data for Google Earth, and writing an executive summary that will appear on the report's front page. Here I'll tell Starlight to export the report at high resolution and begin working through the export process. On the first page, I can select columns I want to include in the web report. These are currently set to the same columns displayed in the record set, so I'll just leave them as is. On the next page, I can set the classification markings for this report, important on some government systems. I'll leave it as unclassified with the color green. The next page indicates that geographic information is available for export, which Starlight will convert to KML for display in Google Earth. On this screen, I can enter an executive summary, either using HTML or just typing plain unmarked up text. I've already created some text in Windows Notepad, so I'll copy that in here. Finally, I can give the report a title and a logo to display at the top of each page. When I click Finish, I can select where to save the report, hit OK, and Starlight will generate the report. Starlight saves out all the data, the visualization graphic, as well as generates HTML and other code for displaying statistical information in the report. Since I clicked Open when finished, In the Export wizard, Starlight automatically opens the report for viewing. You can see the classification markings top and bottom, and the logo along with the title at the top. This first page is the executive summary that I entered, and the second tab has the Starlight category view just as I saw in Viz. By clicking on the features on the visualization, I can access each record just as in Viz. The web report also has a tabular display at the bottom, which I can reorder the reports and browse by clicking on interesting rows. On the third tab is a statistical display of each of the exported columns. I can view occurrences of each value as bar charts, pie charts, or simple line charts. I've selected the tactics used as a bar chart. I can also view this as a pie chart, grouping values below a certain threshold into the other category. We can also view statistics about other columns, such as target. Last, since I see the Open in Google Earth link at the top of the report, I know I can browse this report geographically as well. Clicking on the link opens the data in Google Earth. Each record shows up as a pin on the map. Clicking on a pin opens the record in a bubble, where we can see the original data. By exporting our analysis as a web report, we can send it to other people in email, place it on a file share, or upload it to a web server where others can view it without having to install Starlight. This greatly eases the reporting task of analysts using Starlight and gets high-value intelligence to the right people immediately. In the next and final video, we'll show some of the social network analysis features of Starlight 4.1.2.